Who acts as a subject in a clause. Whom acts as an object in a clause or a phrase. Using who. Who can be the subject of an independent clause in questions. Who wants dinner? The subject performs an action. Who made this mess? The subject performs an action. Who did the homework? The subject performs an action. Who can be the subject of a relative clause? The woman who won the race is my neighbor. The woman is my neighbor is an independent clause. Who won the race is a relative clause. The subject performs an action. The man who lives down the street painted his house. The subject performs an action. A relative clause is a dependent clause. This means that a relative clause cannot stand alone. Who lives down the street is a sentence fragment. A relative clause needs an independent clause with it. Who lives down the street is a relative clause. The man painted his house is an independent clause. The man who lives down the street painted his house. Since the relative clause is necessary to understand which man painted his house, the relative clause is essential. Therefore, the clause is not set off by commas. Compare these sentences. The man who lives down the street painted his house. Ibrahim, the man who lives down the street, painted his house. In the sentence below, the man who lives down the street renames Ibrahim. The clause, the man who lives down the street, is not necessary to understand who painted his house. Since the clause is non-essential, it is set off by commas. Here are some more examples. The woman who owns the company plans to hire 20 more employees. Rebecca Perez, the woman who owns the company, plans to hire 20 more employees. The kid who sits next to me got a perfect score on his test. Jermaine, the kid who sits next to me, got a perfect score on his test. The man who organized the rally gave an inspirational speech. Johnny Vang, the man who organized the rally, gave an inspirational speech. Once again, whom acts as an object in a clause or a phrase. As an object, whom does not perform an action. Whom is acted upon, it receives something, or it is the object of a preposition. Whom can be acted upon. When something is the recipient of an action, it is a direct object. Whom will you take to the dance? Whom does not perform the action in this sentence. Instead, whom receives the action. In this sentence, whom is the direct object. This can be understood easier if the words are switched around. You will ask whom to the dance. You is the subject, will ask is the verb, and whom is the direct object. Here are some more examples. Whom did the teacher send to the office? Whom would Patty like to see as president? Whom can receive a direct object? When something receives a direct object, it is an indirect object. Whom will the coach give the award? In this sentence, award is the direct object, and whom receives the award. Therefore, whom is the indirect object in this sentence. This can be understood easier if the words are switched around. The coach will give whom the award. Coach is the subject, will give is the verb, whom is the indirect object, and the award is the direct object. Here are some more examples. Whom will Teddy send the letter? Whom do you think the quarterback will throw the ball? In the previous examples, the indirect object whom could be the object of a prepositional phrase. To whom will Teddy send the letter? To whom do you think the quarterback will throw the ball? To whom will the coach give the award? Once again, change the order of the words to better understand how the words interact with each other. The coach will give the award to whom? Coach is the subject, will give is the verb, award is the direct object, to whom is a prepositional phrase. As the previous examples show, the indirect object whom and the prepositional phrase to whom create the same meaning. Whom can be the objects of other prepositions too. For example, for whom, from whom, with whom, by whom, beside whom, among whom, against whom. For whom did Susanna vote in the last election? From whom did the donation come? With whom did the boss agree? Beside whom did you sit at the ceremony? Whom can be an object in a relative clause. The man whom I sat next to at the banquet is the president of the college. The man is the president of the college is an independent clause. Whom I sat next to at the banquet is a dependent clause. The lawyer whom Adam asked to represent him has an office downtown. The builder whom Michelle recommended went out of business. In the independent clause, the builder performs an action. Went. In the relative clause, the pronoun that refers to the builder does not perform an action. Therefore, the pronoun used is whom. Compare the following sentences. The builder whom Michelle recommended went out of business. The builder who built Michelle's house went out of business. Whom does not perform an action. Who does perform an action. Compare the following sentences. Kenyatta, the woman whom Lucas married, owns an interior design company. Kenyatta, the woman who married Lucas, owns an interior design company. Whom does not perform an action. Who does perform an action. Compare the following sentences. The boy whom my brother lost to in yesterday's match will play in the finals tomorrow. The boy who defeated my brother in yesterday's match will play in the finals tomorrow. Whom does not perform an action. Who does perform an action. Compare the following sentences. Maria, the girl whom I sit beside in band class, received a music scholarship from UCLA. Maria, the girl who sits beside me in band class, received a music scholarship from UCLA. Whom does not perform an action. Who does perform an action. Choose who or whom for each of the following sentences. Whom will the director pick to play the lead in the play? Who will play the lead in the play? Jennifer Martinez, the woman who landscaped my yard, was featured in the newspaper last summer. Jennifer Martinez, the woman whom the newspaper featured last summer, landscaped my yard. The company hired the applicant who has the most marketing experience. The applicant whom the company hired has the most marketing experience. For more grammar-related materials and activities, visit www.grammargrounds.com.